What's up, YouTube? This is PSC Ritachi, as you already know, bringing this video to you from Okinawa, Japan, / my room, with this beautiful whitewash scenery. Here to bring you a Bleach Chapter 548 review. And I want to start off by saying, man, I feel like I just read the last chapter. I mean, maybe my mind's just playing tricks on me, or these chapters come out really fast. One of them, I literally remember reading the previous chapter, it seems like yesterday. Now it's already another chapter out. But nonetheless, I'm very excited for that. Because, Bleach is back. So, pretty much, as excited as I am for Bleach being back, I'm not feeling the most optimistic right now about Bleach in this storyline right now. So, this chapter, really not too much happened. I would say, really not too much happened. You see Soifan's lieutenant more or less freaking out just like everybody else freaking out. His little sister or his family member came out scared and was like, oh, what's happening, don't leave me. Typical family relationship, the world's coming to an end type scene. And you see the Quincy that took Soifan's Bankai appears. And that's it. So that's like 2 chapters. And the rest of the chapters, you see Hitsugaya fighting his Quincy, his fire Quincy. Perfect match, him being ice and fighting a fire Quincy. And pretty much that's pretty much the chapter. It's just him battling with the Quincy. And honestly, we did learn a Bible lesson, or got some Bible knowledge. Hitsugaya is, if I want to quote him per word or verbatim, said he's one of the few captains, or few Shinigami probably, that Shikai, like the power of the Shikai and Bankai, are actually very, very minimal. So he, if I can explain that a little better, he's pretty much as strong in his Bankai mode as he is in his Shikai mode. The only difference that he goes on to explain is that in his Bankai mode, he can control a lot more ice versus his Shikai mode, which he can control nowhere near, 2% of the ice they can control his Bankai. But strength-wise, he's just as strong. It's no different. And so he's fighting against, the Quincy, and he needs Rangiku's Zanpakuto help so he can actually fight. More or less, like I said, it kind of, to me, didn't make sense. Because he said he's as strong as his Bankai mode. He just can't control a lot of ice. But in order to form a strong barrier, or a strong ice barrier, he needed Rangiku's Shikai to actually form a strong ice barrier. Whereas with his Bankai, he could just do that naturally. Because in the last chapter, when he saved those Shinigami, they show it in this chapter, and I think they actually break a piece of ice off or something. And one of the remarks like, hey, this thin piece of ice actually protected us. I'm surprised it could withstand fire, period. And Hitsugaya goes on to explain like the method of which how he combined his Shikai with Rangiku's Shikai to make different layers and all that fun stuff. But to me, maybe it's the translation I read, but to me, if he was as strong in his Shikai mode as he is in his Bankai mode, the only difference is he can't control as much ice. Even the small amount of ice, if he made a snowball of ice, it should still be able to withstand that fire. That Quincy is a fighter Quincy. It's not like he's probably not fighter, but he's fighting Hitsugaya. Hitsugaya is my favorite character in Bleach, but he's by far the strongest captain, let alone character in Bleach. So in my eyes, he's fighting a fighter Quincy, and his ice wasn't good enough to melt the fire. He needed Rangiku's Shikai in order to protect them, or keep a strong ice barrier. But that was just my little critique on that little statement. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. Um, and like I said, that was pretty much the whole chapter. Was him fighting and eventually winning against the Quincy. Does like a little ice stab, and that's the chapter. So, I mean, you already pretty much more or less heard my critique on that little statement of him being that strong. His valuable knowledge, because he claimed his Shikan Bankai mode are practically just as strong. Um, and that didn't make too much sense to me, but like maybe I read it wrong or maybe wrong translation, but that's just what I got of it. And honestly, for this chapter, I think this chapter was, for me, sub par in my view. I mean, like I said, I love hitsugaya. I mean, one of my first Bleach AMV was hitsugaya. I absolutely love hitsugaya, but dedicating a whole chapter to hitsugaya fighting fodder to me was not the best way to approach coming back. Because I mean, like I said in my previous video, Bleach was on hiatus for a while. Even I missed Bleach. I was waiting like, golly, when is Bleach gonna come back? And it comes back, and to me, it didn't come back strong from the begin with. I mean, it came back good, you know. So sorry, disappearing, we get some Quincy knowledge, and then this chapter we get a fodder fight. If this is anime, I'd be okay with it. You know, if it was like a filler episode or something. But I feel like this chapter, the momentum is still falling, it's still gaining. Like before the hiatus, I feel like Bleach was really insanely good. I feel like the momentum kept building. And now I feel like, you know, even with the hiatus, I think it was still building because everybody was anticipating, like, I can't wait for Bleach to come back. I mean, even I said, you know, was saying the same thing. And now, since Bleach is coming back, I feel like the momentum that it had, and even all the potential that it had, is just going down the freaking drain these past two chapters. Like, I think this hitsugaya fight could have been a few pages short. Probably like 10 pages. Because the whole chapter was dedicated to him fighting and a few pages of Soifon's lieutenant bitching about the same thing everybody else is crying about. So, I feel like this chapter honestly was irrelevant. I mean, I hate to be so negative about Bleach, because I actually do like Bleach. And I started reading Bleach before Naruto. But I just feel like this chapter let me down as a fan. I mean, it wasn't horrible, like I said. Like, if this was an anime episode, I would probably be decently content. But for the manga, as good as it was getting, within honestly the past months, I mean, before even going all the way back to January, as soon as we started seeing the Royal Guards, you know, and all that, all the training that's going on, I feel like it's been really hard. Like, I feel like Bleach set the bar for awesomeness. Like, I feel like it was literally, I don't read One Piece, but I feel like it was really competing with Naruto as far as like best chapters of the week. And I feel like these past two chapters, it's been, in my opinion, it's kind of been decreasing. I mean, like I said, I'm happy Bleach is back, and by far, I'm not going to stop reading it. I'm still going to read it. Still can't wait till the next chapter comes out. I just feel like Tite Kubo ain't hitting it as hard as he could have been. I feel like he could have did certain things different, like this chapter. Honestly, I think he probably could have just stayed with the whole Society vanishing, you know, show Hodgewald and the new Captain Commander versus showing hitsugaya. I mean, I like how he showed hitsugaya at the end because, like I said, my favorite character. So I'm like, oh snap, hitsugaya is here. Even with his non-existent Bankai, he's still about to go tear up some stuff. I mean, that was my thought. And I mean, he won after the 20 pages, but I don't think it was necessarily needed a whole chapter for what to me was a fodder fight. But that's just me. So this is probably the first video that actually really kind of went hard on Bleach. It is what it is. Take it or leave it. You know, like I said, I mean, This chapter was okay, but it's not what I expected it or what I hoped would happen, I guess, more or less. I mean, I feel like Tidy Kubo is kind of dropping the ball with these past 2 chapters, but I'm still kind of hopeful that it's going to get better. So, anyway, this is Itachi. Don't forget to comment below on this chapter, definitely. Comment on the video. Don't forget to rate, comment, obviously, like I just said, and subscribe to see more. So, see you later.